Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Vagrant Story Episode 4. Joining me again is SorenHighwind.
Hello everyone.
And we are entering an area called the Sanctum. But first, we must right a grievous wrong. Oh, and do another thing too. Unfortunately, we're going to disassemble Murder Death.
That's okay. I understand.
It's okay because we're going to immediately reassemble it. And use a crossguard instead of a, I guess it was a spiral hilt? I didn't get that.
Yeah.
We're gonna go with its alternative name too, just for poops and giggles. Death Murder!
Death Murder. Yes.
There's actually a reason why I did that, which will become apparent in a moment. Well, not a moment, in a little bit, but we want that weapon to have a gem slot, basically, was the idea there. And this is the grievous wrong that we'll be fixing here.
Right.
It's now properly the apocalypse.
Fantastic.
Instead of the I can't spell, but, you know, whatever.
Sometimes.
And with that, the shocker is the only gentlemanly weapon that is not shouting at me every time in the menu. Strangely and ironically enough.
It's too classy for that.
Yeah. Never thought I'd hear that. And for the folks at home, entering this area, which is called the Sanctum, is the trigger for the undead dummy appearing in that room that I was talking about before in the last video, the first area of the catacombs. Which I didn't know. I thought maybe I had to beat some bosses, but anyway, now you know. And here we have some awesome plot development, which we didn't really see any of last video.
Yeah, just a lot of wandering around, killing stuff.
Which again, I kind of like about this game. It's got a good plot, but it doesn't shove it down your throat in 30-minute long cutscenes all over the place.
Yeah.
It's
I
good.
like that.
It's good balance it strikes.
Yeah. Older games seem to be better at that for some reason.
Well, I mean, this was still made at the same time that, like, Xenogears was made, for instance, too, so...
Well, to be fair, though, that game ran out of time and budget, so they had to cut some corners. It's not like they had a choice. But still, though, yes, the game's a disaster, from what I've seen of it.
Train wreck.
I've only read an LP of it.
Probably the Dark Kids.
Yes.
Yes, that was a good LP.
That guy's awesome.
Indeed. Anyway, we've kind of been chatting over what's going on here, but mostly Sydney's being a dick to his subordinate.
Well, yeah, with the way he's dressing, I'm not surprised.
Indeed. Claiming that everything's going according to plan, even though Ashley Riot, the Wrecking Ball, is making him real worried. And here we see one of Sydney's powers is summoning the Eldritch gods to do his dog bidding.
Oh shit.
Yeah. And the girl's power is seeing creepy ghost children.
Oh wow. Her hair is actually... It's not like just a model moving back and forth. It actually looks like it was rippling in the wind.
The PlayStation can do amazing things. The drawback of the apocalypse is that it does not really have any range to speak of. But that's okay, I still love it anyway.
Yeah, we all do.
Death Murder!
Rechristened.
Indeed. We're going with it because it's not really specialized towards anything, which means that we can use it on basically anything. Indeed. I kind of do this in a silly way. You could have also put it on the block I'm standing on, but whatever. Hindsight.
Done.
Yes, that's all that matters. There's a door down there that you can't see because I didn't bother rotating the camera, but it's there.
You don't seem to take any falling damage. That's pretty cool.
I don't think that you do unless you actually, like, fall off a pit, in which case the game will teleport you back to where you entered the room from.
Right.
And here I'm trying to bypass the bats, and I almost make it, but whenever they hit you while you're trying to climb on something, you fall down, so It's time to annihilate some freaking bats.
Let Death Murder live up to its name.
Yes. Which takes a little longer than I would have liked, but oh well.
Wholesale bat slaughter.
But it allows me to show off another cool feature of this room. Oops. It's the one that wanted to get away.
Didn't quite manage.
An oxymoron. A helpful trap.
I don't know. I'm not sure how that works, but okay.
It's a heal panel. It's a heal trap. Not really sure how it's a trap, but there it is.
That's the name, and I'm sticking to it.
It's time to bust out a murder weapon. Not death murder, though.
Even more murder weapon.
Yes. The Apocalypse. Which, as requested, is probably my best weapon. Even though power gaming, you know, is a divine weapon with 100 physical and 100 human. Doesn't really have any chance to shine, because as you can see, we're not fighting any humans, so.
Right.
The Apocalypse remains the strongest.
That slime is shocked that you managed to hit it.
Yeah, it's like, what?
What the hell just happened?
I'm really,
son of a bitch. How got it?
I'm really glad that I do get it before it gets a chance to attack again, because it's an annoying one that'll poison you.
Oh god.
Which, poison actually isn't too bad in this game. You don't really have to worry about it so much in battle. But it's annoying because you have to clear it after battle, which means more menu screwing around and watching spell effects.
I can't think of a game where poison isn't annoying in some way.
Yes. And it seems pretty persistent too, because I've tried to just wait it out, and like I always get down to almost 0 health and have to cure it anyway, so I don't know if it heals on its own over time.
Bosun Cleaver. That sounds fearsome as hell.
It's not really. It is your alternative to the shocker. If you neglected to pick up the shocker, it'll be your blunt weapon. However, it has a huge disadvantage in that it is a two-handed blunt weapon. And if I'm not mistaken, it starts with low durability points, which means if you wanted to put it to good use, you'd probably have to backtrack to the workshop and repair it, and then also fill it up with phantom points.
Yeah.
But again, you're still using it as a two-handed weapon, which means you have no shield, which means you're foolish. So foolish.
Unless that's just how you roll, swinging big weapons all over the place.
We're gonna murder us some death once again.
Fantastic. Send them back to the afterlife.
Indeed. We're also going to make use of the gem we picked up with the Bosun Cleaver and reveal Death Murder's true purpose, which is to kill dragons.
Ooh, I like the sound of that.
Dragons. We hate
Dragon Death Murder.
Indeed. Now against a proper dragon foe, as I demoed in one of the earlier videos, edged weapon to the tail is like their true Achilles heel. However, piercing weapon to the face is another weakness you can exploit. Not as effective, but it's there as an option.
Well, I would imagine hitting anything in the face would be a weakness.
You'd think, but sometimes
things just don't have the face, like the slime monsters.
Or they're wearing helmets.
That too.
I do so love the Apocalypse.
Such a tiny weapon to bring so much destruction.
Indeed. The one disadvantage of it is that it is crafted of silver, which means it'll be quite some time before we come across a workshop that'll allow us to tinker with it at all, really. Or combine it into something better. And I was just basically showing off this room. It doesn't have anything in it, but it's there and you can go inside it. And I love going inside things.
Oh, I'm sure you do.
What full red-blooded American man doesn't?
I know, right?
Indeed.
Poison sneeze.
Yeah, that's that dick move attack that I was talking about earlier that I wanted to avoid.
Yeah.
Which I will now have to laboriously fix. I was looking for a better word than fix, but I lost it.
Cure?
No. Alleviate, something like that. Maybe.
Get rid of.
Indeed. Obliterate.
You obliterate that poison.
Now again, if you're a speedrunning fan, you'd actually not want to heal yourself, because again, you would have picked up Raging Ache, and you'd stay at low health. You wouldn't be bothering with weapons like I am, and you would abuse Raging Ache for this upcoming conflict.
I'm not much of one for speedrunning, though. I like to take my time with games.
Yes. In which case, you would use the Shocker
Awesome.
for this boss fight. Which again, is where GameFAQs users rage quit.
Keep that in mind.
Why?
I can see why.
Because they try to use metal swords, their edged weapons, against giant, immovable rock.
Well, call me crazy, and I haven't played this game, but that just doesn't seem like a good idea in general.
Right, I mean, if you have the choice between trying to use an edged blade, a piercing blade, or something bludgeony, what do you think is going to be most effective against giant rock?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
Yes.
you can't really stab a giant being made of rock anyway.
Yeah, and there we see that with a debuff and using a proper weapon that is suited against it, we can deal actually quite a bit of damage on our first strike. And if I weren't such a joker, we could have killed it in one chain, even. Although it is a somewhat high-risk proposition at that you only have, I think, like a 60% two-hit chance, but whatever.
That wasn't too bad.
What's that?
That wasn't too bad of a boss.
Yeah.
These guys are just pansies, so... Congratulations!
And actually, I was surprised. Every time he hit me, he was only dealing like 11 damage, which indicates to me perhaps those people weren't using shields. Or
The
maybe...
biggest weapon is the best one, right?
Yes. Or maybe they didn't combine into a quad shield like I did. I think the quad shield is quite power gamey for this stage of the game. The video game.
The video.
However, it's not like I did anything special to get the quad shield. I just used shields that the game gives you automatically. I didn't have to like farm for any kind of special drop or anything
Right.
at this stage.
Like drop farming.
Farming for special drops is the name of the game for post-game Vagrant story content fun
I see.
and the forging of ultimate equipment.
Fantastic equipment.
Yes. Drop rates as abysmal as 3 out of 256 chance.
That makes me sad inside.
Makes
Things aren't for your blood.
Makes everyone sad inside. Here I'm trying to just skip past these guys, but I fail. Somewhat.
These guys are out for your blood.
They want a piece of that ass.
That is clearly visible to them.
Yes. That's what you get for teasing them, Ashley.
Who's the character designer for this game, do you know?
I don't remember, but it's probably in the first video somewhere.
Ah.
It clearly wasn't the Final Fantasy VII belt fetish guy.
That's Tetsuya Nomura.
Yes, that one.
I don't know. He can draw good stuff as long as he's like restrained. But if he's allowed to do his own thing, it just is not pretty.
Yeah. Somebody's got to keep him on a short leash.
Yeah.
I decide I want full health.
Full health is good. I was like that for a long time. After like every battle in whatever game, I was like, I gotta heal myself. I'm trying to break away from that habit.
Yeah, I don't do it all the time in this game, but when I know... I don't know why I stopped the heal there. I could have waited a little bit, but oh well, whatever.
The slime's rude, interrupting you in the middle of your box lifting.
Also, trivia fact or what have you, the reason that it takes so long for animations to come up in this game is basically because of how much content is in the game. So like every time
Yeah.
a spell animation is called or whatever, the game has to search through its giant database
I see.
of spell effects and load it from the disk.
Yeah.
Oh, come at me, bro.
He's coming to get you.
He's gonna get some sweet death murder is what he's gonna get.
Alright. I love the smell of death murder in the movie.
I guess he bugged out though. He got scared. He saw what was coming. Some of the chaining animations don't make a whole lot of sense with the piercing weapon like that, like the one where he slides across.
I love that you can kill a dude by slashing his right arm to death.
Yes. Actually, later on, or maybe not later on, but if you're using weapons that suck or you're not doing enough damage or whatever. Anyway, there's a point to attacking certain parts of an enemy. As you might expect, you'll like cripple that part and then they can't use it anymore.
Yeah.
Doesn't usually factor too much into gameplay though. I thought about saving here so that I could, well, obviously something's coming up if they give you a save point, right?
Right.
This appears to be the room that Sydney was in earlier, where he summoned the Dark Eldritch Gods.
Speaking of,
Indeed. So I thought about saving just in case I got a crap stat roll on the boss here, but decided whatever. Just take what I get.
now you don't need to save. It's only a giant-ass dragon monster.
Yeah, giant F-off dragon. Of note, we got a new new spell called Protesia, which boosts your equipment. So because we have this weapon with the Dragonite gem in it, we boost it. Now we deal a little bit more damage to dragons.
Sweet.
Taking advantage of the piercing weakness on his head instead of trying to outmaneuver him into his tail.
Right.
Indeed.
Pretty sweet music from Mr. Sakamoto.
I think he did Final Fantasy Tactics 2, as in also not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did. That game has sweet music too.
As in also.
Yeah. Oh shit!
Yeah, I really pressed a button early there. I got scared.
Can't handle this shit.
He has another attack that I don't think he gets to use in this fight, but if you stay at a range from him, he'll use a fire breath attack that can be quite devastating.
I'm trying to think of an RPG that doesn't have a dragon fight in it, but nothing's coming up. It just seems to be kind of ubiquitous with the genre. You have to fight a dragon at some point.
Well, I think if you count the Zelda games as RPGs, they don't really have dragon fights. Some of them.
Some of them do. Not all of them, though.
Yeah. This game's already had 2 dragon fights, so...
This game doesn't mess around.
That's right.
Congratulations!
And again, the crap stat that I'm trying to avoid is agility.
Right.
And thankfully, I avoid it. Yes. Perfect. And we pick up the sweet Analyze spell, which will let you, if you cast it on an enemy, and then you go into the status screen and press R1 or L1, you can actually take a look at the enemy and see all of their class, affinity, and type ratings. So then you can plan your attack.
Yeah.
We're not going to use that Elixir of Dragoons, because again,
Agility.
I don't want your agility.
Keep your speed. I don't want that shit.
Although I may later end up regretting that decision, or rendering it obsolete or whatever, because as I said before, the reason I'm avoiding it is so that later I can try to build up the stats on my armor, but that is a process that will take forever.
Right.
And if you have a bunch of agility, like every attack will miss you anyway, which renders armor kind of moot. So yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you want to have ultimate armor, so you can say I have ultimate armor.
Who doesn't?
Exactly. And avoid that agility and avoid it like a king.
Alright.
So now we actually get into the city proper. Which for me is where the game really kind of started to pick up and I got way more into it. I thought those opening areas were kind of droll, to be quite honest.
Yeah. This game is way too pretty to be a PS1 game. Good grief.
Impossible! So these jerks are from the Crimson Blades faction.
Yeah.
Again, for those keeping score. And he's the biggest jerk of all.
A very audible pimp slap.
For some reason I thought that there was also blood from the pimp slap, but maybe I'm remembering a pimp slap from later. I'm pretty sure there is a pimp slap that like somebody leaves with a bloody mouth in this game.
Fantastic.
Pretty sure. I don't want to hype anyone up though.
This game's an instant hit already.
Yes. Bloody pimp slaps. So surely those characters won't show up again anytime soon.
Nah, not really. What do you expect?
And here we find the workshop they were talking about. This is actually that same screen that they were just at.
Yeah.
And we can work on bronze and iron weapons here.
Fantastic.
And also armor. So we'll take advantage of that and craft another upgrade
Sweet.
to the chain sleeve. And when you combine bronze and iron weapons, you actually create a new type of material called Hagane, I'm gonna go with, I don't know.
H armor.
Yes, H armor, which is sweet. H armor is really quite easy to get and it has pretty darn good stats. So, unlike silver and Damascus, which are the tiers above it, but those two are pains in your cockhole to obtain, especially on a first playthrough. So,
right.
That'll about close us out for this thrilling episode 4. Magical fun times await with the next parts of the game, so we'll see you for that.
That was magical fun times.